Today we are with Miss Anne-Marie Flynn, manager of Mayo North Tourism in the lovely town of Ballina in County Mayo. Welcome, Anne-Marie.
Thank you very much, Mike. It's lovely to be here, and thank you for inviting me along.
Well, I've heard a lot of exciting things are happening in North Mayo this year, and things are improving, and people are getting outdoors and enjoying the lovely weather that I hear is going on right now. And I know North Mayo has a lot of lovely beaches. So, uh, how are you spending your time outdoors yourself, Anne Marie?
Oh, mostly outdoors, Mike. Yes. So my role here is the manager of Mayo North Tourism. So I'm responsible for promoting the area to a wider audience outside of the area and speaking with people like yourself and hopefully encouraging people to take a visit here. So we're really blessed here with where we're located. We're on the very edge of the Atlantic on the North Mayo coast, which lends itself really well to getting out and about and exploring and making use of the rivers and the lakes and the sea and the beaches we have here as well. So it's a great place for walking and exploring, which is
Yes,
what I
well,
spend most of my free time doing.
I've always considered North Mayo to be an undiscovered, uncrowded, hidden gem of Ireland with a lot of wonderful places to go. And my relatives up there, when we were driving along the North Coast Road near the Cajun Fields, they've said that this is truly Ireland's Wild Atlantic Way. And I
Uh,
just wanted, I know you are very proud of that North Mayo. And uh, well, tell us a little bit more about some of the hidden gems there where people can explore and be safe and not worry about crowds and they can see things on their own in private.
Absolutely, yeah. So the great thing about us, I suppose, is that as you look up and down the Wild Atlantic Way, you know yourself, Mike, from visiting here, that there are certain hotspots along the way that are very busy. North Mayo is a little less so, and I suppose the reason for that is that we don't have any huge attraction of scale to bring crowds here. So we don't have a Westport House, so we don't have a Ring of Kerry as such. But what we do have here is the sum of our parts in terms of our cultural attractions, our landscape, our heritage. So generally what you find when you come to this area is that you get a very authentic experience. So you get to spend time here. You're not in the middle of crowds. You're not caught up in traffic. And you're very much with the people and getting under the skin of the community as well. And I think that's probably the one great thing we have going for us here in Ballina. Now, I suppose my area covers from here in Ballina, but we would extend over as far as Enniscrone and West Sligo, which is one of our nicest beaches in the country, right out as far as the Mulla Peninsula to Black Sod, where the lighthouse is. So it's quite a large area, but relatively sparsely populated, quite quiet, which means that we have that landscape that people can really get out into and enjoy and explore um, very safely and very easily.
Great. Well, speaking of Enniscrone and Belmullet, that reminds me of the two great golf courses they have, one in Enniscrone
Mm,
and one in Belmullet. Could you tell us a little bit more about those golf courses that people
that's
might like to golf?
Yeah, that's right. So we're really lucky where we're located here in Ballina. We're right in between the two. So Enniscrone is about, say, about 8 miles away from us here. And it's a championship links course among the sand dunes in Enniscrone. So we're looking the Atlantic, really popular course, very highly regarded as well. And then out in Balmullet, we have Carn Golf Links, which is similar, and it's just a fantastic course. Again, I won't say it's undiscovered. It's really well known amongst golfing enthusiasts, but it's just a phenomenally beautiful course and a really lovely warm welcome there as well. It has all the feel of a local and community club. You get a great welcome out in Carn when you visit.
And I bet you there's some great 19th holes there in the pubs close by
Absolutely, you
where
won't be
the
stuck.
where the golfers talk about the stories and trade stories about their rounds of golf.
Absolutely, you certainly won't be You won't be short of a place to do a post mortem or
Yeah,
a post round analysis in either place.
great. Well, now going up the coast there, near the Cajun Fields, there's Downpatrick Head, Dunbrista, if I'm pronouncing that correctly,
That's right.
a sea stack. It's very, very famous. And I understand they're going to be having some Red Bull cliff diving there this summer, this September.
That's right. So you'll see behind me, just my backdrop, if I could just move my head, there is Downpatrick Head and Doombridge to the sea stack. Legend has it that back in the day, St. Patrick spent some time in at Downpatrick Head, hence the name. And apparently, while he was there, he had a bit of an argument with the local chieftain, who was not in any great hurry to convert to Christianity. So, story goes that St. Patrick lost his temper with the chieftain, and he struck his crozier upon the ground, um, which created the blowhole that we see there now, Ballina, which means hole of the old fire. So, in his rage, he created a fire in that hole. And what else happened there was that where he struck the ground, his crozier broke, I suppose, the portion of the land that separated from the mainland, which is why we see the sea stack there, Doombridge, which means the broken fort. So the legend goes that the chieftain Cromdove was stuck on the sea stack and perished out there. He was eaten by midges, which was a horrible death, as anybody who's ever visited North Mayo knows. On a very calm evening, the midges emerge, and it can be a little bit unpleasant. But yeah, so that's one of our signature discovery points along the Wild Atlantic Way. So thousands of people flock to that area every year just to take in the beauty of that place. So yes, Red Bull are coming in September. We're really excited about this. So they're holding the cliff diving championships there. So the Red Bull cliff diving would be known the world over for the spectacular locations that they pick to hold these competitions, and they're really for elite divers. So my understanding is that they will be setting up a platform on the edge of the cliffs for divers to do their dives off of there. And I'm so excited to see it and to see the footage that will come from it, because it really will be absolutely spectacular.
Will you be there as a spectator?
I certainly hope so. I certainly hope so. But I have a plan B, Mike, in that if I'm not invited along, I'll be out there in a boat watching it from the other side.
Oh, nice.
you gotta set these things up in advance just in case.
I hope you have calm seas and
I I
and
I
fair
certainly
wind
hope
and
so.
plenty of sunshine.
I certainly hope so. But hopefully when that goes ahead, it'll be seen all the world over, and it'll show people just what we have here as well. And great credit to the community in Ballycastle, who are the instigators of this. They've been they've been banging that drum for a long time and trying to get Red Bull along to come and see it, and they've done an incredible job there. So
Well, Healy's Pub in
amen.
Ballycastle may be rocking,
It's
hopefully,
certainly
in
it's
September.
It certainly will be rocking. And Healy's at the moment, Mike, is looking incredibly well. It's been painted up. It's really vibrant, really, really colourful. And they've just got this gorgeous outdoor area that backs onto Downpatrick Head. As you know yourself, I'm sure you've been there. And the view from the back garden there is fantastic. So I know Porrick has done an awful lot of work there in the last few months to
Well,
really
I
make it look
know
spectacular.
Phil Healy and Mary Healy were kind enough to welcome me there years ago when they owned the pub, and
Mm.
I actually filmed a little video there, so I might put a little clip up here too, add it to our conversation, perhaps. But uh,
Excellent.
well, yeah, Ballycastle is just a charming town, and I know the people are really excited. They're getting ready, getting busy. There's some new businesses there, including Kelly Barrett and Emma Chambers have
Yes,
opened up a new restaurant on the site of the original family shop, which
that's right. Yeah.
I visited in 1970, in August 1970 to be exact. And so I remember that shop very well. So it's wonderful to keep that shop in the family. And now it's resurrected as a wonderful food catering business and for food, for great food. I've looked at their menu. It's a wonderful menu. I can't wait
Yeah.
to have some myself.
Exactly. Hopefully, you'll get to sample it before too long. Yeah, it's lovely to see businesses emerging in Ballycastle as well, and the girls are doing a fantastic job. There's obviously also the Ballinglen Arts Foundation there on the main street in Ballycastle, where Una and her team have just opened up this beautiful gallery, which showcases the work that would have been created in Ballycastle by visiting artists over the years. It's a really fantastic story, and the works are, it's very visible that that they're inspired by the landscape of North Mayo, and it's really
Right.
worth a visit when you're back. So that'll be one for you to pop into when you're back, Mike.
Well, going farther west in North Mayo, there, can you kind of tell us a little bit about some of the ancient sites there? I know there's
Mm.
some wonderful ancient sites along the coast there from 3000 BC and earlier that people can just explore on their own and without a lot of crowds. And it's a very spiritual place. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah, no, it absolutely is. And there were a number of ways, I suppose, in which you can explore that. So obviously there's the Cage of Fields. So the Cage of Fields would have been home to I suppose the first farmers on the North Mayo coast, or the first farmers in Europe. And the field systems there, as you know, were discovered by Professor Seamus Caulfield and his father back many, many years ago, and mapped out. So the visitor centre there at the moment is undergoing a renovation, with a whole new digital visitor experience being brought to that as well. So the site itself is open at the moment, so you can go in and explore the boglands, and take in the views of the Cages, the Cage Coast and the Cage Cliffs. They're absolutely magnificent. But we're looking forward to that opening up so the visitors can go in and learn about that fascinating story as well of those Neolithic farmers. One of the ways, I suppose, in which you can explore the North Mayo coast and the sacred history of it is by following a trail called Sacred Landscapes. I'm not sure if you're aware of it, Mike, but a local historian, Steve Dunford, would have spent a lot of time over the years researching into all the various ecclesiastical and monastical sites and sites of spiritual importance all along the coastline. And he has laid them out in this beautiful website called sacredlandscapes.ie. And it's an amazing way of getting out and about and probably finding some of the more secret gems that not everyone is aware of. So as well as our abbeys, we have Franciscan and Augustinian abbeys along the route, but also there's holy wells, graveyards, old churches, standing stones. And it's a really lovely way to get out and explore that by yourself. It's self-guided, it's all mapped out, or you can get somebody to bring you out and take you along. And the other one that I always recommend to people visiting here is the Tirasolia Sculpture Trail. So Tirasolia was created back in 1993 to mark, I suppose, 5,000 years of Mayo. As we thought back then, we now know that it's closer to 6,000 years. And it was Mayo County Council at the time who commissioned a sculpture trail to be laid along the North Mayo coast from Ballina right out as far as Blacksod. And the works are created using natural materials, and they each tell a story of their own. And it's a lovely trail to follow across the area, and one in which you can spend an overnight along the way and really get under the skin of the coastline as well. So, but look, we're very rich here in in archaeological history, and it's just layered along the landscape, and it's just here among us every day. That's the fascinating thing about it.
Well, some of my relatives have claimed that there are cliffs along the North Mayo coastline that are as beautiful and scenic and spectacular as the cliffs of Moher. Would you care to comment about that?
I would say they're even nicer than the cliffs of Moher, Michael, because they're nice and quiet, and the chances are when you get out there to explore those cliffs, you'll have them to yourself.
Yes.
One of the really exciting things that's coming along the pipeline for us as well is the development of a new coastal trail from the Cage of Fields to Downpatrick Head.
Oh,
So
nice.
that's where you'll really get to see those cliffs in all their glory. And there are blowholes, there are sea arches. It really is the wild Atlantic, and the community in Ballycastle is working really hard to get that trail developed and up and running. So hopefully by the time you get back to us again, you'll be able to go out and explore that.
Well, I'm going to let our viewers in on a little secret that September can be a wonderful month to visit North Mayo. The weather in September can be fantastic. I've been there myself, and it definitely is. It's a little secret I'll share with people that. So we'll do all we can to just encourage people to come up to North Mayo as a destination when they visit, to get that, like you said, the authentic experience, meeting the local people and enjoying their company. And it's just a remarkable place to visit. So get away from all the crowds and come up to North Mayo, and you'll definitely have an enjoyable experience. Well, just to kind of finish up here, I wanted to ask you what are some of the newest attractions, and also on a second question after that, to tell me what in your opinion, the top three things that North Mayo is famous for, the top three things that you would recommend people check out.
Gosh, Mike, I could be here all day. I could give you 23 things.
I
I suppose
know.
in terms of the newest attractions, and I'm actually going to buck that trend a little bit and give you one of the oldest ones, which is the Foxford Woolen Mills. A really lovely place to visit and see where they create all those wonderful textiles. But I suppose the newer part of that would be the visitor experience there and the showroom that they have there in the cafe where you'll get food that's just second to none. One of our newer attractions here is Connacht Whiskey. So we have a new distillery here in Ballina, and it is producing at the moment Irish triple distilled pot still Irish whiskey. So the first batch of that whiskey is due to be released very, very soon. It's been matured in casks for 5 years here in Ballina using water from Lough Conn and Lough Cullen and using our local hops and using our local ingredients, I suppose, and it's been blended by the master distillers there, or distilled by the master distillers in Connacht Distillery. So we're really excited to see that launch. But they have a lovely visitor experience there as well, where you can come in. You would be brought on a tour of the distillery. You'll be shown exactly how the whiskey is distilled and matured. And the best part of all, Mike, is that you get to have a taste at the end, which is the icing on the cake.
I'm getting a thirst. I'm getting thirsty. And so
Yeah.
that's a new one. Any other new things you
Yeah,
might?
that's our new one, our very own Ballina whiskey. What else would I say? Um, in terms of the newer ones, we really like to send people out along the way of Ennisco House, which is kind of one of the last old houses of North Mayo. So what's been done there is the development of a really nice loop walk along Lough Conn. There's a lovely coffee shop there. The North Mayo Heritage Centre is there for genealogy. And all in all, it's the makings of a great morning or an afternoon out. And then we send visitors along to the Titanic village, which is Lahardon, to hear the story of the 14 people from the village who left to get on the Titanic. Of those 14, 11 perished. It's a really sad story, but they're beautifully remembered in Lahardon. And I believe there are great plans in Lahardon to commemorate them further as well. And the third one then, I suppose, Mike, would be, I would definitely send people along the way to Bleak Castle because they have done a great deal of work recently in developing their visitor experience. They have a really charming museum there in the castle, in the dungeons, and they can see, a whole suite of medieval armor. They can really, they can get it, they can touch it, they can see it, they can pick it up and try it on for themselves. We have Pirate Queen Grace O'Malley's bed in the museum. There's an incredible selection of fossils and really old material there, including a dinosaur skeleton. So really, really quirky collection and a really lovely visitor experience there. And when you're done with that, you can explore Bleak Woods and the Bleak Woods Fairy Trail. Or do the Bleak Woods treasure hunt and get a coffee in Jack Ben's cafe as well. So again, it's a really lovely visitor experience and something that we enjoy doing here ourselves as well. So
Yes.
they're probably three of the favourite ones. Now, listen, there's lots more I could pick out. We have the monasteries of the Moy Cycle Trail. We have all our outdoor activities.
Wow.
More people than ever are getting out on the rivers and the lakes. They're doing stand-up paddling, they're kayaking. So it's really vibrant here at the moment as well. But I think what we're all really enjoying at the moment is being able to go back into our restaurants and go back into our bars. And hopefully it won't be too long before we can hear live music here again as well
Well, now
and have a proper night out.
I'll have to say this. I've been to both those Bleak Castle and Connacht Distillery myself. And
Excellent.
it, is it possible you could walk from Bleak Castle to Connacht Distillery through the Bleak Woods on the Bleak
Yeah,
Trail?
yeah,
What a
absolutely. So
convenience. How
you can
convenient is that?
it's so convenient. Yeah, you can just follow your way down. So the way it would work, you would make your way from the distillery down the main trail, which is part of the monasteries of the Moy Cycleway. So you can walk down through the woods and turn off to see the duck pond, and then walk down the avenue to Billy Castle from there.
Wow.
So it's probably about a 15-minute walk or so. So it's really lovely. And Bleak Woods is one of the largest urban woodlands in Europe. And even the woods itself is just full of treasures. There's a mausoleum, there's ruins of an old ice house, a lime kiln, and lots of old remains as well along the way. So Bleak Woods itself is an experience
Yeah.
too. So it's a
Well, I
great
bet
place
you
to
there may
explore.
be a local tour guide who'd be willing to guide a group on that trail and experience both of those in an afternoon. So that's a
Uh,
wonderful experience there.
Absolutely, yes. We have a couple of great tour guides here locally, and we have Rachel Nolan from Rachel's Irish Adventures, who really specialises in bespoke experiences. And we also have Aidan Sweeney from Baldhaven Irish Tours, who will bring you out, and both of them will bring you out, whether it's in their minibuses or whether it's out on foot or on bikes. To explore the area. So you'd be in
Okay,
good hands. And it's always good to get local knowledge and people who are from the area as well
absolutely.
to share the little secrets. And there are lots of little secrets and stories to be heard.
Yes. Well, I really enjoyed this conversation, Anne Marie, and you're doing a great job at Mayo North Tourism promoting North Mayo. And
Oh,
uh,
thank you, Mike.
we're going to be up there ourselves, hopefully
Yeah,
as early as next June and
super.
maybe before. So we're doing our best to come over there, and things are looking brighter for next year. And looking forward to meeting you in person.
Absolutely. Really looking forward to seeing you over here, Mike. It's been a long time. We've been planning this trip for a long time. So really
Yeah,
looking forward
yes, we
to
have.
seeing you
Yes,
here and welcoming you home.
yeah, yeah. So we're looking forward to it. So, well, perhaps we can do this again next month or in the future, and
Yeah.
get the latest updates and hear all about it, the cliff diving in September
Yes.
when it happens. So,
Yes, absolutely.
and
Yeah. So I would say to your followers, even just try and follow us on social media on Mayo North Tourism, and you'll see everything there as it happens as well. So we update that every day. So
that's
um,
mayonorth.ie.
mayonorth.ie, or you'll find us on Facebook at Mayo North Tourism.
Great. Anne Marie, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy day and talking to us. We look forward to talking to you again soon. And give our regards to our friends there in North Mayo that you
Sure
may
will.
find. And we'll look forward to chatting with you again. So until then, Slán and
Slán go fóill.
Guramahagat.
Gurmahagat. Thank you, Mike. Always a pleasure to talk to you.
And Slán.
Take care. We'll see you
Bye.
soon.
Bye.
Bye.